さん、明けましておめでとう Happy New Year! During New Year holidays in Japan, you can see so many Japanese unique things full of its culture in a short period. And today we're gonna see 10 things of how Japanese people spend the days. So guys, let's get started. First, let's see 4 year-end events. Number 1, Osoji. Many people in Japan begin year-end events with big cleaning called Osoji. It's believed that there's a New Year's god in Japan and we clean up our houses to purify before New Year comes, so we can welcome the god. We usually clean up the places including the ones that have been untouched until the day, even moving the fridge or other huge furniture. The Japanese tend to spend New Year holidays with their family, and when my family do Osoji, we decide our roles, like my mother mainly cleans up the kitchen, my sister does the bathroom, blah blah blah, and we spend like a whole day and concentrate on cleaning up the entire house, usually listening to the music, so it's not gonna be boring. By the way, sometimes we do this big cleaning at schools and offices as well, taking the time for Osoji. It's a bit exhausting, but if you get over that, you can feel good not only during the holidays, but also the whole coming year. Number 2, New Year decorations. After Osoji, many Japanese people set New Year decorations around the house. You can see them near the gate, on the door, and so on. It depends on the area in Japan, but we usually leave them until around the 7th of January. The thing is that each decoration has a meaning. This is a sign for the New Year god, so he or she can find your house and visit. This rope has a power to protect and avoid the bad things that will happen to you. And this is rice cakes. Can I eat this right now? No, you can't. At least not yet. Because it's for the New Year god to eat. But after the New Year ends, actually you can eat it. And we Japanese people do so. Number 3, Toshikoshi Soba. Toshikoshi means like crossing over from one year to the next one. And as you can guess from this, Toshikoshi Soba is the soba traditionally eaten at the night of New Year's Eve. We eat it wishing for cutting off the year's misfortunes, for next year's good luck, and for a long life like the noodle. Actually, there's no difference between Toshikoshi Soba and the standard soba, and we call them different just depending on whether you eat it on New Year's Eve or not. So this cup soba, which you can buy at supermarkets or convenience stores, also can be Toshikoshi soba, and actually some people eat it on New Year's Eve. By the way, this is a popular cup soba called Donbei. If you have a chance, I recommend you try it. Number 4, Uta Gassen. Uta Gassen is one of the special TV programs you can watch at the night on New Year's Eve, and it's basically kind of a singing contest. Kohaku means red and white in Japanese, and the most popular musicians from the year split into 2 teams, red team and white team. The participants sing, and at the end of the show, the judges and audiences vote to decide which team is the winner. The red team is composed of only women, and the white is only men. So it's actually men versus women. But it's not that serious fighting, and it's more like a festival. Unfortunately, some Japanese people even don't watch TV in recent years, and the audience ratings have been decreasing. But still, it's one of the big year-end events for Japanese people. And for the musicians, being invited to Kohaku is one of the biggest honors in their career. I think Kohaku is fun because you can enjoy only the highlights of the year's Japanese musics just in 4 hours or so. That's all for year-end events. Next, we'll see 6 New Year events. Number 5, Hatsuhinode. Hatsuhinode means the first sunrise of the year in Japanese. On New Year's Day, many Japanese people gather at mountaintops, observatories, beaches, etc. so they can get a nice view and pray for good fortune and happiness in the coming year, waiting for the moment of the sun rising. This might seem nice and fun, but actually it's sometimes a bit tough, and some people give it up even if they want to do that, because it usually takes some time to get to the place. You have to stay up or get up early in the morning. You need to wait outside in the middle of dark, cold winter season. And it really depends on the weather if you can see beautiful Hatsuhinode. It's like an aurora you can try to see just once in a year. But I think that's why Hatsuhinode is great. I mean, it's worth seeing because it's not super easy to see. Actually, several years ago, my friends and I went to a beach to see Hatsuhinode, taking 3-4 hours by train. And we couldn't see the sun so clearly, hidden by some clouds. But I still felt it was beautiful and worth coming to see it, forgetting the coldness and sleepiness. Plus, after that, we enjoyed the day together, eating sushi, drinking some alcohol from morning, and dropping by a sightseeing spot nearby. After all, it was really fun, kind of special, and became a good memory. So if you spend New Year holidays in Japan, why don't you also try it? Number 6. Greetings. Japanese New Year is called Oshogatsu, and Oshogatsu begins with the greeting Akemashite omedetou or Akemashite omedetou gozaimasu. We use those phrases only during New Year, but wherever you are in Japan, at New Year, you can see and hear Japanese people tell those words to their friends, colleagues, or relatives. The phrases literally mean like the New Year began and congratulations. So it's like Happy New Year in English. But here's a Japanese thing. We don't say those words if our relative passed away last year. Because we Japanese people believe that we should avoid celebrations to feel sorrow at our relative's death until 1 year passes by. That's why we avoid using those phrases and instead we just say like, thank you for the last year, let's keep being good friends this year too, or your continued guidance and encouragement are highly appreciated this year as well. On the other hand, if you knew beforehand that the person had someone passed away last year, it's better to avoid telling as well. It's kind of manners. By the way, as for year-end greetings, we say Yoi Otoshi o, which means like hope you can welcome a good new year, and we tell that when it's the last meeting of the year. It's like happy holidays in English. Just so you know. Number 7. New Year's dishes. Another big tradition in Japan is eating some New Year's dishes, and among them, you can't miss osechi and ozoni that are usually eaten only during New Year. Osechi is an assortment of small dishes, and actually, what kind of dishes you eat really depends on the area and household. The thing is that each dish has a meaning, basically celebrating the new year and wishing for good health and prosperity. For example, the shrimps mean a long life, and the sweet black beans mean a good health. Ozoni is basically a savory soup with rice cakes called mochi, and like osechi, the ingredients and flavor are very different depending on where you're from. But that dish usually consists of chicken, mochi, and various vegetables like carrots, daikon, shiitake mushrooms, etc. Every time I eat osechi and ozoni, I feel like, oh, the year has changed and it's become a new one. And I think it's not only me to feel so. Number 8. Nengajo. Nengajo are like New Year's postcards. We send them to the friends, colleagues, and sometimes teachers and tell them the appreciation for the last year and the greetings for this year like Akemashite omedetou. We usually start preparing nengajo around Christmas or before because it's better to send them to arrive on New Year's Day. But recently, many young adults don't send those cards anymore, and instead of nengajo, they just text to their friends on the internet. Actually, I also haven't sent them since I graduated high school. It's kind of sad because each nengajo has different pictures, words, and some handwritten messages. I mean, each one of them show the personality, and it used to be fun to see them, with some messages making me happy. But at the same time, to be honest, I'm a bit relieved that I don't need to send nengajo anymore, because preparing nengajo kind of needs many processes, and it used to be a bit tough for me. You need to buy many postcards, choose the people you're gonna send nengajo to, search their addresses, type them on the laptop, decide your nengajo design for the year, print out them, and write some messages, and finally go to drop those cards in the mailbox. I used to send around 30 or 40 nengajo every year. Sometimes it took a few days. So yeah, I kind of have complicated feelings about this Negajo culture. Number 9. Hatsumode. Hatsumode is the first shrine or temple visit of the new year, and generally lots of people do that between 1st and 3rd of January. We go to Hatsumode to kick off the year by praying or wishing for prosperity, safety, good health, and whatever else you wanna come your way. Also, when people go to Hatsumode, some of them like to get lucky charms, fortune slips, or ema, which are wooden plaques that people write their wishes on. For some people, it's kind of New Year routine that they do every year. In Tokyo, some temples and shrines like Sensoji, Zojoji, Meiji Shrine are so popular for Hatsumode and really crowded during New Year. But actually any temple or shrine will do. So as for my family, we usually head to the nearest local shrine together. Number 10. Otoshidama. Many Japanese people tend to gather with their relatives on New Year holidays, and there we give our and relatives' children some money to celebrate the new year. That money is called otoshidama. Otoshidama are usually put in small envelopes, and that's why in December you can often see the envelopes sold at supermarkets or convenience stores in Japan. How much you can get as a child really depends on how many relatives you can meet and their budget. But for most of Japanese children, it's gonna be super important resources for enjoying the year. This is one of the biggest reasons why lots of children in Japan look forward to New Year. It was a huge important event for me as well. And I still remember that thanks to Otoshidama, I could get some video games and clothes that I had wanted. By the way, in my case, each relative usually gave me like 1,000, 5,000 or 10,000 yen. So guys, how were the Japanese traditions? This time, I carefully picked up 10 major Japanese traditions during New Year holidays, but there are more like Ekiden, first dream of the new year, lucky bags, and so on. And hopefully I can share them as well in the future videos. Now, this is the end of the video. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna do my best to make more helpful and fun videos this year as well. So please subscribe, watch, like, and comment. Let's make this year awesome one together. So see you next time. Ja! If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to my channel and hit the like button. In this channel, I'm gonna share some tips for you guys to live a holiday life in Japan, especially Tokyo, and I'll upload at least one video on weekends every 2 weeks. Hope to see you guys soon in the next video. Turn it up!